Hey everybody, welcome to the Warp. I'm Jack Rita with Future Pastimes. And I've had a number of people ask me that when I'm playing Cosmic Encounter, what is my favorite mix of variants to have in the game? And I definitely have a favorite mix, which I will get into, but I will start off by saying that I've really enjoyed of late using the age cards from Cosmic Odyssey's campaign just as a way to determine what variants we're going to use, as well as which alien selection method to employ as with that. So these are great, and I've made up a number of custom ones, which I've shared in other videos. But I love to be like, sure, we're going to use the democracy method, which is a new one, and we're using inverted decks, which is pretty crazy variant to use in the game. Every once in a while, we'll draw two of them just to have a double mix. But in terms of which variants do I typically gravitate towards? The first one, of course, is the reward deck. We always use the reward deck, especially because I've got, of course, the cards from Incursion and from Dominion with the combined reward deck, and the Ultra rewards from Cosmic Odyssey. But I've converted some of the rewards and added a few new ones with a different back, which I've also talked about in other videos. It's my Defender reward. So having that mix of three different types of rewards, and the Defender rewards are really, you can only get them when you're receiving specifically Defender rewards, which is mostly allying with the defense and winning. But there are a couple of effects in the game that specifically refer to Defender rewards, so you can get them that way as well. Otherwise, if one of those cards is on top of the deck and you're getting rewards but not Defender rewards, you'd have to go to the Cosmic deck or get ships out of the warp. So I love how that shakes things up as well. So we always use the reward deck. And then it's because this is almost like it's part of the base game at this point, just because it is always in there. But the other variant that I typically like to use a lot is moons. Now, moons were introduced to the Fantasy Flight Edition in Cosmic Odyssey as one of the variants there, but it is an older variant. It was first introduced in the Eon Edition with paper-thin moons that had a lot of really interesting effects. I love the idea. I like how Mayfair improved upon it. They had thicker cardstock, and they had the 4 categories of moons. And Odyssey takes that even further. The cardstock is even more thick than the ones in Mayfair, and there are more categories of moons. So it's very easy to cultivate the type of experience we want by just which types of moons we're going to get. But the ones that we use a lot are the new moons where you don't know the type. So they're all question mark. You're not sure what you're going to get, but it's a variety of different types of moons that could be there on there. So I think the moons are also very easy to implement into the game, which is why we like to get them in there. You know which planet has the moon, and so you can avoid them if you want. You know what the moon effects are in your own system, which means that you can occupy a moon as a winning defense if somebody is ambitious about going after your moons, which gives you a little something extra. Normally, the defense doesn't get anything for winning their encounters. They just don't lose anything more, but they have to use an encounter card that maybe they wanted to save for the offense. And so getting that extra bonus for the moon is nice. And so if we want to just have one-shot effects or ongoing effects or really strong effects or secret or once per game effects, we've got that ability. We can say, yeah, let's limit it to that. And there's at least 8 of each type of moon. So if we're having an 8-player game, we've got the ability to say, yeah, everybody gets a cheesy moon and everybody gets a blue moon. So I've always loved the moons. We used to play that we used to always use moons, and you had to occupy a moon in addition to getting to your 5 foreign colonies in order to win. And we do sometimes put that in as a rule too. So you have to get your colonies, but you have to occupy a moon in order to win the game. It just makes the moons that much more important. And if you've got the moon bases, which count as an extra foreign colony, but give you a handicap. It just ratchets up the excitement and the intrigue. So that is my favorite combination of variants, the reward deck and moons. And I feel like it's not too much for people to keep track of. It's pretty manageable. It's very much in line with how we've always played Cosmic Encounter. So even back in the Mayfair day, we had a reward deck, which was something that I created for Cosmic Encounter because we had a lot of custom cards, and they were all in the reward deck. So it didn't mess with the already ridiculously large challenge deck, as it was called then, your sort of cosmic deck. And we always used moons. The variant that I probably use the most after that now would be Lux, which is also part of Cosmic Odyssey. So I like having the Lux, and of course we'll use Lux with the reward deck because it's all about spending Lux to buy rewards. So it's really a nice way to get to more rewards. If we want to play a game where we are really accessing that reward deck a lot more, Lux is the best way to do it. So it's a great system, I think, biased, but that's my opinion. So we mix it up, and yes, we do occasionally. We do Lux and Moons as well as the reward deck, because the Lux, it's still pretty manageable, but what it's doing is it's letting you access that reward deck even more. And they're fun. I know Bill Eberly, his favorite thing about Lux was he really likes those reward cards, and it just shakes up the game in a really big way. So I enjoy that. My favorite player count is 5, and 6 is almost a tie. I don't like to play with fewer than that. More than that has its issues, absolutely. Although for me, Cosmic Encounter is a very social game, so more players is more social. So I never shy away from a 7 or 8 player game, but it's a brisker pace with 5 or 6. So that's usually the sweet spot. So it works really well with the reward deck and the moons. Everyone is in the action more frequently at that player count. So there you have it. Let me know what your favorite combination of variants is for Cosmic Encounter. What do you like to use best? Are you using the reward deck in every game, or is it something else that grabs you? I will give a quick shout out to Evolutions. I've got a really nice Evolutions playmat, so I like to use that. And I love how it makes the ship as a really important resource. So I do like to throw that in there a lot too. But as I was tracking, what have we been using the most in our games, it did turn out to be Moons right at the top. Lux and Evolutions pretty close to each other. And again, Evolution's part of Cosmic Odyssey. Go get that expansion if you don't have it already. It's got a lot of really great new stuff in it, and it adds more interesting stuff to the other variants, and as well as a bunch of these age cards, which do make a great way. If you're not doing a campaign, you just draw one and say, oh, look, we're going to be playing with space stations in this game, and we're using a different way to select our aliens. So it is fun. It's a way to just take the decisions out of everybody's hands and say, let's let Destiny decide what it is that we're going to be playing. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. That's it for this video, and we'll see you again soon.